Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back, bro. I believe this is day 7 or 8 of the daily upload series. Back at it with another story time, bro. Yesterday's was a long one. Today isn't gonna be nearly that long, but it's not gonna be a short story time. So, hope you guys enjoy. If you do, leave a like, subscribe, comment, check out my Twitch and TikTok. I live stream on there every day. Um, Join the Discord. Yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, so we back at it with another story time, bro. This story time, it takes place a couple years ago. I was in sixth grade when this happened. That's really all I can remember about when it was sixth grade. And so this day, it all started out as a normal day back in sixth grade for me, right? I woke up, I got dressed, I ate breakfast, I went to school, right? And so this is important for later. I rode the school bus, right? Every day for all my life while I was in school until a couple years later. Next year actually, the next year after this, I got expelled off the school bus. That's a whole different story. There's a whole lot of shit that plays into it, bro. I'll make that into a video at some point, right? And so I ride the school bus to school, right? And I get to school, and the day it starts out normal, right? I show up to school, I eat breakfast at school because I'm a fat ass, and I eat a lot of food, right? I'm not actually fat though. And so I'm munching, chilling with the homies at breakfast and shit, right? And we're all just talking, and then the bell rings, signaling that hey, it's time to go to class, or you're gonna be late. And so we all say goodbye, we all depart, and we all go our different ways, right? And so I get to first period, I sit down, I take my shit out of my bag, as I get all my shit set up to start class, and class starts, and I get through first period, everything's normal. I go to second period, everything's normal, except at the end of sixth period, the teachers started checking their phones really frantically, a lot, like my teacher at least. I don't know about other classes, but in my class, the teacher started checking her phone over and over and over, like something's wrong. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, I noticed that, and I'm just sitting there, right? And they in their expression, the way that they're checking their phone over and over and over and over, right? And so this is the very end of class, the last 5 minutes of class. And so then the bell rings and we go on to our next class, right? And so we get into third period, right? Now, third period starts out normal, except I notice that this teacher is also checking her phone frantically, looking kind of paranoid and scared a little bit after checking her phone. And I'm just like, oh shit, something's not right. What the fuck's going on? Like immediately, bro, because I'm an observant ass motherfucker, right? I'm constantly looking at everything because I'm a paranoid guy too, right? My brain's always thinking of oh shit, what could go wrong in this scenario, you know? So my brain's constantly just, observing and scanning. And so I'm just like, oh shit, something's not right. Why, two teachers? This ain't right. And so then third period, right, officially starts, passing time is over, and we start class, right? And we get about 15 minutes into class when this loud ass siren starts blaring. And at first I'm just like, oh shit, it's a fire alarm. Until I realize it's not a fire alarm. And then we hear on the thing, lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. And then just back to the siren. And I'm just like, oh fuck, we're in a lockdown, right? And so in my area, there wasn't really there wasn't ever really a reason for a lockdown besides this story, as far as I know. I mean, obviously past reasons, but in the time that I went to the school system here, this was the only actual lockdown that we had, right? And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, right, this is all in a split second, all in my head. And I'm just like, oh fuck, oh my god, oh fuck, we might die today. Oh, that's not good. And so the teacher's like, all right, everybody, get in the the corner, the far corner where the door couldn't see. I'm gonna lock the door, close the blinds, shut the lights off, and we do all that, and we all pile into the corner, right? And so we're all just sitting there in the corner, and we're just like, oh fuck, what's going on? And we're looking at the teacher, and we're like, do you know what's going on? She's like, no, I don't know what's going on. I'm just as confused as you guys are. And so in my head, I'm just like, That's some bullshit, bro. I know that you know what's going on, right? That look on your face, the way you kept checking your phone, you knew this shit was coming, right? This ain't just no, regular lockdown drill, because we had lockdown drills and shit. Every school is required to do lockdown drills in America, at least, right? Because, well, it's America. Um, and so and she's like, yeah, it's not a drill though. So like, be quiet, shut up, shh, shh, shh. And so we do. We all shut up, right? And we're sitting in the back of this class, silent for I'd say probably 30 minutes, right? And then the announcements come on, and it says, it's like shelter in place or some shit, right? It's a lockdown, but you can go from class to class, right? You cannot leave the building or enter the building, right? Which means that, the school was cleared and shit, but there's still like a threat outside, right? And so nobody's allowed in or out, right? And so we were able to go about our classes, right? We go to fourth period, and this day it just feels like it's fucking creeping by, dude. It just feels so fucking slow, right? And after this, we had one more class, right? We had fifth period, and then it was the end of the day. And so we get through fourth period, nothing happens, and then like, no announcement about it, right? And I'm just like, oh fuck, we might not be able to go home on time. And so then we go to our next class, and we go to fifth period, and there's still no release on, there's still no release on the like shelter in place or whatever it's called. We're just gonna call it the lockdown. There's still no lift on the lockdown, right? And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, what? Like, am I gonna be able to go home today? And so, like, I'm not saying this out loud, right? This is all just, I'm thinking this, right? And so I'm just sitting there in fifth period. We're not doing a whole bunch of shit, bro, because it's art class, right? And so we're just kind of hanging out, talking, fucking around, painting shit or whatever the fuck, right? Art class was really chill. I loved that teacher. Um, but like, and then it gets to be the end of the day, and kids start packing up, and she's like, hey guys, they haven't released us yet, like you're good to pack up and everything, but like you can't leave yet. And we're all just like, why? And they're like, well, because we're still on lockdown. And we're like, why? And she's like, well, I don't know. And that's some bullshit. She knew, right? Or maybe she actually didn't know, and she's like, yeah, but you guys, you can't leave yet. And I'm just like, fuck, man, I want to go home, dude, right? Because I hated being in the fucking school, just in general. I did not like the school at all, bro. I don't like school in general. And so I'm just like, man, fuck. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry guys, but like you kind of got to hang out here. You can be on your phones and stuff though, I don't care. And so we're like, all right, at least we can be on our phones. And so like 10 minutes goes by, still no update. Another 10 minutes goes by, still no update, right? So we're 20 minutes into fucking school, supposed to being let out, right? We didn't get the bell or nothing. It's just silence. And we're just sitting there, and we're just like, when the fuck are we going to get to go home? And so 10 more minutes goes by, still no update, still no release on the lockdown. Another 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes, and then about an hour and a half into it being like just no update, right? At all, after like school is supposed to be out, right? So we're there an hour and a half after we're supposed to be, and we finally get an update, right? Like kids are probably like texting their parents and shit, but like nobody's able to get answers because nobody's telling anybody what's going on, right? Because like nobody knows apparently. But and so like I said, about an hour and a half goes by, and then an alarm comes out, and it says that everybody can proceed to the front of the building, that the buses that there's no bus rides home that day, that everybody needed to be a car rider, and that they needed to contact a ride home. And so we're just like, oh fuck, right? And so I'm just like, shit, bro, I gotta call my mom or something. And so I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, bro, I'm at the school that, and she's like, yeah, I already know, I know. They called, they sent out like a message to all the parents, bro, I'm on the way. And so I'm just like, okay, all right. And so my mom gets there, and I get in the car, and I'm like, do you know what's going on? And she's like, I have no fucking idea. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And so she takes me home, right? And everything's, normal for the rest of the day, right? I go to sleep. Well, no, I don't go to sleep immediately, right? But like I do all my shit for the day. I eat dinner, I hang out, and then I go to bed, right? To skip forward to the next day. And so the next day I'm getting dressed, and my mom's like, hey, you're not riding the bus, so you guys have a little bit longer today. And so we're like, oh, why? And she's like, there's just no bus riders today. The buses are like out of service or something. And so I'm just like, oh, okay. And so I go to school, right? And the entire day is normal, right? I'm asking around, asking if anybody knows what's happening. Everybody's, nobody knows what's going on. Everybody's, making jokes saying, like, oh, there's poison on the buses, or there's a bomb on one of the buses, or, all sorts of different shit, right? Just trying to start fucking rumors about what's up with the bus. Everybody's got a different story of what they think is wrong with the bus. Nobody has any solid evidence, right? And so I get through the day, I go home, right? And it's like that for like 2 weeks. There's nothing, like no updates. Nobody knows what's going on. But like, right, no updates on the buses for like 2 weeks, right? But we're allowed to go back on them like 2 days later, right? So for like 3 days, there was no buses, right? You couldn't ride the bus to or from school. You had to be a car rider for those 3 days, every single student. And so then after those 3 days, they finally let people like go back on the buses, but they wouldn't tell anybody what was wrong with the buses. And so it was like that for like 2 weeks, bro. And then finally, one day, I asked my mom, I'm like, hey, do you like any updates on the buses? And she was like, yeah, actually, they told us the other day somebody called in a bomb, like said that there was a bomb, said that they put a bomb on one of the buses and they didn't know which bus, and they were trying to figure out who it was and if there was actually a bomb on one of the buses and all this and that. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, bro. And I was like, was there actually a bomb on the bus? And she's like, no, but it was one of the kids that rode your bus. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like it was my school bus. I knew the kid who called it in, bro. It was my friend's older brother. And I'm just like, oh fuck. And she's like, yeah, man, like thank God there wasn't a bomb on the bus and shit, bro. And I'm just like, damn, bro. Like, fuck, bro. And I was dumbfounded, bro. It scared me knowing that, like, oh shit, what if there actually was like a bomb on there, bro? Like, what if he actually did it? What if he had actually put a bomb or something on there, you know? Luckily he didn't, bro. And he got in a lot of fucking trouble. I never saw him again, bro. Um, and I never got any more updates on it, bro. I don't want any updates on it, bro. I think he got what he had coming, bro. Um, and so that's where this story comes to an end, right? Um, Not nearly as crazy as the last story, bro. That shit had a lot of shit going on in it, bro. But, pretty crazy story, bro. Could have gone very bad. Um, if you, for some reason, are planning to call in a bomb threat of any kind, don't do that shit, bro. That shit will fuck your life up. If they figure out who did it, that shit'll fuck your life up. I'm telling you, bro. Fucked his life up. Yeah, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story, bro. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, drop a sub, bro, leave a comment, bro. I'm gonna try to reply to any comments that I get on any of the videos, bro. So make sure you leave a comment. I will reply, bro. Thank you all for watching, bro. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.